my little herbal tea. See, I'm being responsible, I think, aren't I? So there's a few of you out there who asked, so thought I'd follow up a little bit. A lot of people asked if I was taking any protocols like or regiments of ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine, and not really. I'm not really on any kind of regiment just yet. Drinking herbal tea, very strong. There's a lot of local herbs, like of course that dog had to start up as soon as I started talking, but there's a lot of local herbs just in this area that are really good for antimicrobial, antibacterial, antibiotic. This in particular I can smell this really strong bee's balm. Powerful herb, grows all over the place. Yarrow, there's also yarrow in here. That's an interesting herb. The Native Americans, from what I've read, they used to use it in their sweat lodge ceremonies just before the flu season because it actually induces sweating. And it thins your blood if you take it internally, but it's also known as soldier's wort because I guess in World War I they used it to treat wounds because not only is it internally it's a blood thinner, but externally it's a coagulant and also antibacterial, microbial. So it's a really amazing herb. So it's, definitely, yeah. Plan on getting in the battle or anything. I have no idea what that sound is. It's really annoying though. It sounded like a drone at first, but it's more like a whine or a power tool. I can't tell which yet. In any case, that totally got me off track. Yeah, yarrow. Before I've used yarrow, it's a cluster of white flowers. I wish I had some. We had a ton in the yard. But it's a cluster of white flowers, and you see it all over in the mountains, Rocky Mountains. And one time I was out just with a handsaw trying to collect, just some small logs when we had a fireplace, log fireplace in our old home, and how it does sometimes, a really jagged handsaw, it kind of skipped off the log and went right across my finger and the top of my hand, and it was bleeding pretty good. It wasn't like super deep. It it didn't cut any tendon or anything, but first thing I did is I made a little poultice. I found, thank God, I found some yarrow, not too far from me, and you just make a little poultice, you rub it up, you apply it to the wound, you wrap it on somehow, just hold it in place, and just instantly it stopped bleeding. It was amazing. And so, it stops the bleeding and it also treats the wound so it doesn't get infected. So, God put these miracle cures all over the place. And it's cool. It's neat. It's really cool to know this, to have this knowledge. And we've gone on herb hikes before. One time I think we took our local church out for a salad hike. That was kind of fun. I can't say it was the most tasty salad ever because we had a lot of like dandelion greens and a lot of that's really bitter. But you put enough, like anything, put enough sauce on it, little salad dressing. It's not too bad. We had some local wild-crafted berries in there. So that's what I'm doing. I'm drinking that right now. the little missus, she was had enough foresight, and I was actually going to do a video on this, but we never got around to it. She already made last summer, I think it was the end of last summer, she began making she ordered some cinchona bark, which if you look into the history of it, it's actually pretty fascinating. The Protestants had a name for it. It was Jesuit powder or Jesuit poison. And and it ties into how that simple tree helped to like the Spaniards to colonize the Americas and all that, because it was a cure for malaria. This goes back to like what is it, 1600s, and so I think it's hilarious how the medical establishment completely discredited itself by casting any doubt at all on the effectiveness or the safety of quinine. That's what I'm getting at. So cinchona bark is the best source, the original source of quinine, or tonic water. They drink a little gin and tonic. And it's like this miracle cure. It's been around forever. It has 0 side effects. Now, I can't say on certain platforms that it's an alternative treatment for what, because everything is controlled right now. There's a total information blackout. And you only hear from one side of the story. You only hear the propaganda line, right? And all of us little guys out here, even some big guys, some pretty reputable experts and scientists, deplatformed or shadow banned. There's that Hummer again. He's checking out the tripod again, I think. He thinks it's a massive flower, I think. It's got a little shiny metallic orange on my tripod, so it just attracted that Hummer. So where was I getting at? Yeah, some people asked if I was on some kind of a treatment regiment, and I know there's some amazing drugs, just like cinchona bark. So my wife, she made some tincture, cinchona. It's really powerful. It's an astringent, so how do they describe it? Have you ever had like a choke cherry? It puckers your mouth, because I think your blood walls, vessel walls, like shrink or contract. Something to do with that. I'm just kind of relaying from what I've heard from the expert. And that's the effect. It's amazing how powerful that stuff is. It's really strong. I've just been taking, a little bit throughout the day. So I'm taking quinine and, the basics like zinc, D, B12, I think it is. What else? Oh yeah, she made this amazing syrup. Like if you've never tried the old style, like, they used to make syrup with honey, so it's sweet, tastes good, but it's got powerful, powerful herbs that just like, I think it was the ginger. I wish I had the recipe on me right now, but it's just like black, and you drink it, and the ginger and the warming things, there's another herb that is like it flushes once it enters your body, right? And so has that warming effect, and it actually almost like horseradish, where you get that burning effect going back up into your sinuses. That's what you get when you taste this stuff. And so very powerful. Herbs are very powerful. And on top of that, like I recorded earlier, I'm trying to just eat healthier. I have this theory that, if only, I don't know if you've ever, I'm sure you've been really sick, but you've probably noticed that you don't always crave the things that you crave when you're healthy, right? Like me in particular, I don't eat so many sweets. You don't crave anything like alcohol, coffee even. Sometimes it's just horrible, when your throat is all messed up and your sinuses are gone. So my theory is, if we ate the way we feel like your body tells you to eat, if we ate the way we feel like eating when we're sick, when we're healthy, probably wouldn't get so sick, right? To avoid all those things that dehydrate us and and harm our health in the first place, weaken our immune systems, like sugar. It's huge. That's the worst thing, probably the worst thing you can do if you're coming down with something, is just eat a ton of sugar. Like, wow, you're just trying to kill yourself at that point. So we need that kind of mind over body. We need that strength, that we got to be able to control our appetites, right? And the devil tempted Christ on use your powers and make these stones into bread when he was fasting 30 days 30 nights in the desert, because him in human form, he still had the same tendencies toward sin, and he still could be tempted with basic, like, human appetites, just the flesh, right? The flesh craves certain things, but our minds are likened to a rider on a horse, with the reins. Our minds can control, these limbs, this body. That's the intent, anyway. That's how we were originally designed. And so, to get back to the original design, yeah, if we can eat more and more like the Garden of Eden, like the Garden of Eden diet. There was just recently a study I mentioned, and I can't pinpoint the source right now, but they were talking about how plant-based diet people recovered more often from COVID, and yeah, there's a number of factors that probably go into that. Somebody that's plant-based is probably more conscientious about what they put in their bodies, and they take their health more seriously. Like Joe Rogan said, I think it's 78% of people in ICU for COVID are obese, and so that tells you something, right? Again, it's the comorbidities. That's a huge factor. And why don't they ever, why, if these health officials, right, these are the officials appointed in these positions of trust, and authority in the very topic of health, why do they never talk about? I mean, it took all summer long when people were dying. I remember that. It took all summer long when people were dying until eventually they kind of started to hint and suggest that there might be some things that you might want to do for your health, right? Like exercise. They don't ever talk about diet, because according to, the modern medical priesthood, diet, what you are is what you eat. That doesn't apply. Nothing you put into your body other than drugs, evidently, affects your health. And drugs, usually that's the problem. They just mask the underlying problem. They mask symptoms, and as too often is the case, they have, untold amount of other side effects, which, of course, they'll be ready, the priests of the modern medical cult, they'll be ready to feed you with more drugs as soon as you have symptoms from the first drug, and on it goes until you enter into this death spiral. And that's how the modern medical, Western medical establishment is based upon profiting off sickness. And so why would anybody, especially on the left, you would think, right, that we're already skeptical about certain, foods they ate, GMO foods, Monsanto, why in the world would they ever trust Big Pharma and the Western medical system to know what's right for our health, or to even care, right? In any case, so yeah, for all those who asked, I appreciate it. Appreciate the concern. I'm good so far. I'm kind of feeling the crud. I felt actually really good just a few hours ago, and then it's like toward the end of the day again, and I just kind of feel like crud again. And it's definitely real. Like, at first you just kind of like, am I just making this up? Am I just getting paranoid? I try to think that, or I like to think that, I'm of pretty sound mind, but when you watch a certain amount of things and listen to a certain amount of experts, and man, hear all the shady crap that's going on with these injections. It's easy to get paranoid, but I'm pretty 100% sure now that these are just not, figments of my imagination. It's pretty obvious that I have something. I'm not saying I have, somebody shed on me or something like that, but I'm just saying I have some kind of crud, and it sucks. I hate being sick. I want to be productive. It's like the final few days of the fall, and it's already getting cold at night. It's like right now, it's getting pretty chilly. I'm wearing shorts and getting a little nippy out here. But yeah, so I'm doing what I can. That's really good tea. Just continually hitting it. The other thing is, oh yeah, I did some. Thankfully, I had an assistant that was kind enough to do some hydrotherapy. That's powerful too. If you haven't looked into that yet, the hot cold treatment on the chest or neck, and I haven't done it yet, but ideally your feet, really hot water on your feet. I think it's cold on your neck, hot on your feet. Then you flip it, and you get that circulation, that flow. I heard from a doctor that helps to lay on your chest to just increase blood flow to the lungs. But yeah, right now just to swallow hurts, and there's like this, like I said, it's like this feeling right there in the lungs. Kind of just a tingly pressure. But I am not one to succumb by fear. And I trust in the Lord that His will be done. And with any of us, if our lives are cut short, then we need to leave those things in God's hands. I know some of you out there have lost kids, and that's a horrible, horrible concept, right? To outlive your kids, and to go on in life after that, and to make sense of the world, and it's got to be tough. So yeah, these little reminders of our mortality should draw us near to God and strengthen our faith, not weaken it. Yeah, hydrotherapy is powerful. The other thing was, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, inhalation of lavender oil. I heard a really powerful one that I've been taking internally is oregano oil. That stuff is amazing. It's like Drano, man. Sometimes it tries to come back up, and it's like the worst taste in your mouth. But oregano oil is powerful, natural antibiotic. But I heard you can even inhale it, so I haven't done that yet. But I did do a little inhalation of lavender oil. Clove, I think, maybe just a bit. I'm not too sure. There's certain ones you probably don't want to inhale. I know eucalyptus is powerful. But yeah, just certain essential oils. Inhalation is good. Just try to get that as deep into your lungs as you can. Those natural oils so you get a pot of hot water, right, and you put a towel over your head, and you just hang your head in front of it, and then you drip a couple drops of essential oil in it, and just all those little volatile oils just evaporate, and then you take a nice deep breath, and it actually feels really good too. It's like now I was doing that the last time I got really sick in the summer during the swine flu. Okay. Cut off there. I think I was discussing my last time I got seriously ill. I think I had like a pneumonia because it crept into my lungs, and similar feeling, but it got a lot worse. And yeah, just the worst time just to breathe. And I did a ton of inhalation of essential oils at that time as well. I think that combined with a number of other, natural remedies. I think I did do some yarrow tea. I did garlic, tons of garlic. I think we even made garlic tea. It's not the funnest thing to drink, but it's amazingly powerful. Garlic is, again, amazing. I think it's an antibiotic. In any case, so there's a lot of things you can do. I say a lot because I'm searching for words, but there's a lot of things you can do, and the it's like anything, right? We are told that government is there to keep us safe, right? And they have created this war doctrine of preemptive wars, right? Like, we need to create a war in order to avoid a war, right? And so we have this government that acts preemptively about everything else, except for the the key moments in history when there's let's say a manufactured crisis that they intend to offer a solution to, and never let that good crisis go to waste. And so government is preemptive about everything else, and we're not supposed to be like preemptive about our own health, right? We're not supposed to be proactive about our own health. No, we're just supposed to sit back and, according to the media, the fake corporate paid off by big pharma news media, mainly Bill Gates, just pays off a ton of media. We are told time and time again that we're just supposed to be blindly going about our lives, just continue eating at, wherever, KFC, fast food, whatever. Don't worry about your diet, not even so much your lifestyle. Just sit around freaking out, because that's what we've been doing, right? Or we've been told to be doing for the last 2 years. In this perpetual state of anxiety and fear, and wait, cling on, to the little coattail of government, because that's our God now, right? Because we're a secular society, evidently. We, worship material things more than the creator of all things. So, hence, government has taken the place of God. And if you don't have a higher faith in a God who has all things within his control, right? And whose will is only the best for his created beings, and he will right all wrongs. And so instead, if you don't have a concept such as that, you look to the government to take the place of, we have this intrinsic thirst, hunger for justice, right? So you have the social justice warriors. Well, who do they look to right all wrongs? Are they waiting for a Messiah to come? No. They're not looking for the second coming. They're looking for authoritarian rulers, who they, for some reason, assume have their best intentions in mind in political offices to, make things right at any cost. Even the score, right? It's like this bloodlust, this vengeance. Even if it's way in the past, if nobody alive today had any responsibility for what happened, right? So the government has become the alpha and omega with all this insanity, the social justice movement, BLM, and all the other indoctrination that's in the schools. And now we're playing gods with the weather. Where does it end? Of course, they'll just as the church in the Middle Ages, they'll try to regulate speech and thought, and which partly inspired Orwell's 1984 thought crime, pre-crime, inquisitions, right? So that's what we're looking at. That's what we're facing, because we have walked away as a Protestant nation from our faith in God. And if we don't have faith in anything higher, then we'll look to, the closest thing around us to keep us safe, to satisfy those needs, those human desires, that void that only God can fill. We are created for, right? You have to worship something. You have to serve someone or something. anyway, that's my spiel. I intend to do as much as I can to strengthen my God-given immune system, and encourage everybody out there to do the same. Let's not get too complacent. Let's not get too cozy. Let's realize that this is a war. This is a battle right now, and we are going up against an evil mastermind who has studied mankind for thousands and thousands of years. And it's not just these bumbling idiots. Okay, we see the little sock puppets, and they are probably not the brightest in the bunch. They're all probably inbred, and they act like they're subspecies of humans at times, and they look like it at times. I'm not going to go any deeper into that, but so as true Christians, we've been instructed to be sober-minded and vigilant, watch and pray, right? And we know that the road is pretty dark ahead. Things aren't going to get prettier on this earth until, He makes all things new. So let's just stay in prayer. Let's keep each other strong, support each other with words of affirmation and encouragement, and just treat our temples, our bodies, the way they should be treated, and put, what should be put in our bodies, and not be sluggardly. Something I struggle with now and then. Let's remain active, You don't stay moving. If you don't keep moving, you just start to atrophy. You start to die, shrivel up. So let's stay strong. Thanks everybody for listening. Just some thoughts. Starting to get chilly out, so I need to get inside. I don't want to catch cold, you know what I'm saying? I think it's dinner time anyway. Yeah, just keep in touch. Thanks for the concern. And I'll do what I can and leave the rest to God. That's all we can do, right? God bless. See ya.